people are tuned from around the world. Welcome to Radio Free Pro Wrestling, the best Monday Night Raw pre-show on the internet. Ashlee, Shawn, with Cammy from the Pop Break are all here to give you their hot takes, break down the matchups and the latest news. No flips, just straight wrestling talk and debate.
And hello, and welcome to this special episode of Radio Free Professional Wrestling, what we are calling now RFPW Raw Countdown, as we are literally underneath 50 minutes away from Monday Night Raw, coming off of one of the best SummerSlams I have personally seen in a long time. Of course, I'm Shawn with my tag team partner, Ashlee. Ashlee, what were your opening thoughts about SummerSlam?
As we were kind of saying off before we came on live, kind of a weird road to get here, but a very good show despite the kind of wonky go-home show beforehand.
Now, if we backed up 72 hours to Friday night, and you told me that I was going to enjoy SummerSlam coming off of that really poor go-home SmackDown, I would have been like, I don't believe you. But SummerSlam gave us 4 new title holders, and both your King and Queen of the Wing have won their titles, and we get the return of Roman freaking Reigns at the end of the night. So I got to say, it was a winner.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of title switching. It seems like a pretty big reset of sorts going on here. And Roman Reigns, somebody that they've wanted to be their top baby face for years, is finally going to be their top baby face.
I know. Imagine this. You spent 3 years making him the biggest heel in the company. You give him 4 months off of TV, and you promote Solo Sikoa to be the new quote-unquote tribal chief, and Roman comes back, and it's like the biggest pop in the history of professional wrestling.
I think they're going to have to do some work with Solo to get him over, especially at the level of somebody like Roman, especially now.
Now, we'll talk more about this towards the end of our SummerSlam review, because I do have a little nitpick here about the main event and how it could have been better. If you listen to mine and Brad and Gray's preview of SummerSlam and a review of the Go Home SmackDown, officially called the Smack Daddies podcast that we had on Friday night, you would know that I was hoping that we would end the night with a new bloodline holding all 3 titles, but I was proven wrong. And we'll get there in a second. But let's start at the beginning of SummerSlam. Let's go to the opener match here. It's Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. And I gotta say, this was the perfect match to start. This was the hottest feud coming into the show from Monday Night Raw. And I gotta say, Rhea Ripley putting her shoulder back in place by slamming it against the announcer table, it just like, oh my freaking word. I had the same reaction as Liv. I'm like going, she's the Terminator and she's going to kill Liv Morgan.
Even on social media, Buddy Matthews tweeted out, "Hey, Tony Khan, let me go help my mommy out." Like, this would have been very. We somehow have to get them to do something. We need like a crossover like that.
Okay, so this match went 15 minutes and 15 seconds, and I felt like this match was longer than that because this match opened up with Liv Morgan being like a chicken shit heel, just going in and out of the ring, trying to get underneath the skin of Mommy. And I gotta say, it's the scene, yeah, until like Ripley gets smart, she acts like she's gonna slide one way, Liv slides back into the ring, and they have this eye-to-eye meeting in the middle of the ring, and Liv's like, oh no, I made a mistake. And it's like, oh, Rhea Ripley's ready to make her pay for every sin that she committed.
Yeah, and it's kind of like being too overeager like that is going to cost you in the end.
I think the ending of this match was great too, because we saw the chair being introduced, and Rhea Ripley's going like, you know what? Yeah, I really got to a point where I don't like Liv Morgan enough where I'm going to not worry about losing this title or regaining the title. I just want to beat the hell out of her with this chair. And we see Dominic Mysterio jump up on the ring and grab the chair. And he's like, Mommy, you cannot win like this. You hit her with a chair, you're going to lose. And I was hoping after we saw Liv Morgan hit her finisher there, that was going to be the end of the match so we could boot this down a little bit more. And we could have played with the interaction between Ripley and Dominic being like, you should have let me hit her with the chair. And Dominic was like, I was trying to make this right. I made it wrong with her getting the title. I'm trying to get you to have the title. But we saw later on that that was not the story they wanted to tell.
Yeah. that would have made a lot of sense too. And I think a lot of people are really invested in this. So, but I see with the outcome and what happened, like you said, after, like why they did.
Well, it was a fun outcome to it. We literally went another probably 3 minutes. The chair gets slid in, and we get to see Liv Morgan hit her finisher on the chair as Dominic is distracting the ref. And we're going like, oh, Dom, you goof up again. But, oh, wait a minute. This was all part of Dominic's and Liv Morgan's plan, as it turns out that Dominic first blondes over brunettes, apparently.
I think he's about to be in a lot of coming ups.
Oh, I literally tweeted out after the finish of this match, like, Dominic Mysterio is dead man walking because A, backstage, Damian Priest was looking for him. B, you have a piss off mommy looking for him now. And I got a feeling once she gets her hands on him, he's going to be in a Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, and I think he definitely needs to be far more afraid of Rhea.
I would say so too. I feel like Rhea is going to be the one that gives Dominic Mysterio his comeuppance, and can you imagine the reaction of the crowd when that happens? It's going to be almost like on the same level as Roman coming back and causing Solo his championship shot later in the evening.
It shows what a good job that, like, especially think of how I think Dominic caught a lot of flack at the beginning of his career, but the turnaround for his character and stuff like that has been crazy.
Well, we'll go on to the second match. It's for the Intercontinental title match. It's the shortest match on the card, and it's Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. And we both agreed before we got on here live tonight that this should have been the outcome at Money in the Bank. I mean, like, Breaker should have won this match at Money in the Bank. We should have been already a month into this Intercontinental title run by one Braun Breaker. But this was a fun way to get this title onto Braun Breaker. And I know they wanted to wait to what they consider a bear show, and SummerSlam is one of the big four, so I see why the WWE did it. I'm just happy that Braun Breaker is the champion now.
Yeah, I feel like maybe they could have just gone with a different opponent at Money in the Bank to make this kind of more impactful. But like you said, it's a good reset, and Braun Breaker is a perfect choice for the Intercontinental Champion.
Exactly. And we're going on to the third match of the evening. And this match was for the U.S. Championship, as we have Logan Paul versus LA Knight. And I'm just happy to say that finally they have given LA Knight a title. It may not be the proper title for LA Knight, but I was happy to get it off of Logan Paul after 247 days and only 2 title defenses. And how about that crowd, Ashley? This was the most anti-Logan Paul crowd I have seen in a while. Because usually they love his wrestling, but this crowd was like, forget you, Logan Paul.
Yeah, I don't know if it's more they were mad at Logan Paul or more very excited for LA Knight, who the crowds have firmly been behind for a very long time, finally getting this opportunity. And I think more likely people were hoping and kind of maybe figuring on him winning. But Logan Paul's a strange character, and I don't know how much favors he did himself.
Yeah, we have been anywhere near social media in the last, I say, 3 or 4 days. You probably have seen the Paul
Trying to like word around it.
You probably have seen the Paul brothers stick their foot in their mouth, and now they're having a little bit of a backlash towards them. I think really getting the title off of Logan Paul was a good thing by the WWE, putting it onto LA Knight. Now, if you want to work with Logan Paul, he can disappear for a while, and you bring him back maybe at the Sally show later in the fall, or maybe hold off until like the Royal Rumble next year. Then I feel like maybe the crowd will be more receptive to Logan Paul being back on TV. And for all his issues outside of the wrestling ring, inside the ring, he is one of the best celebrities / wrestlers we have seen.
Yeah, no doubt. He's very athletic and very talented in the in-ring. I think social media has sort of ruined wrestling and your images of these people in more ways than.
You know, I feel like with social media, it kind of gives you that, unfortunately, like you should not meet your hero kind of thing, because you're able to see who they are behind the curtain. Because if you only watch the TV program, you think they're just one way. Then you get into their Instagram, their Twitter, and you see, oh, wait a minute. Maybe they don't align up with my value core principles. Maybe I need to rethink who my favorites are and why I'm supporting this person or not.
Well said.
Let's go on to our next matchup. on the card as we're going to talk about our first Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax versus Bayley. And as we said at the top of the show, both the Queen of the Ring and the King of the Ring won their titles respectively. I can say the big spot in this match is Bayley being able to powerbomb Nia Jax off of that top rope. When she got her hoisted up, I'm going like, dude, Bayley is like country strong.
I say too, I think this might be the most surprising title change. I didn't see many people picking Nia.
You know, I think a lot of people are thinking maybe Tiffany Stratton would turn on Nia Jax here. And I was thinking about that maybe happening until they showed the new briefcase on Friday night. And honestly, Ashley, I would rather see Nia Jax keep this title than they gain the women's tag team titles. And you have this thing where Tiffany is your Money in the Bank contract holder. And she's also one half of your World Women's Tag Team Champions with the person she's eventually going to cash in on. And the moment she cashes in on Nia Jax, you're turning Tiffany Stratton babyface.
I'm happy for Nia too, because we spoke about it a few months ago, and this sort of second run she's had since being rehired. She's put in a lot of work, and this is, even if it's a transitional thing, seems to be at least an acknowledgement of the work that she's.
I agreed. I feel like this is Nia Jax's best run in the company, and she's literally made us all stand up and recognize that she has improved. She's put in the work, and this title win is well deserved, and I can't wait to see what she does with this women's world title. Okay, let's go to a match where I was kind of lukewarm on the outcome of the match, and it's going to be kind of surprising when you see the match I'm talking about, as we have the grudge match. It's CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Finally, Drew McIntyre gets a victory here, but it takes a little bit of an interference in CM Punk not being totally focused on beating Drew McIntyre to get Drew his victory here. What do you think about this match, Ashley?
I kind of feel like you said, like I was more excited about it going into it than kind of coming out of it. I'm excited for the eventual Seth Rollins, maybe CM Punk stuff. I feel like the ending of this match, I feel like the bracelet stuff wasn't really needed. I understand it, but these guys were just, it was just a pure grudge match, and it became something that I was kind of like, I don't know if I needed this extra element.
Well, honestly, if you go back to Friday night with me, Brad, and Greg, I feel like me and Greg had a better way to get out of this match. We were looking at it going like, Seth Rollins dislikes both these people. Why not have Seth Rollins lay both these gentlemen out? He's the official referee of this match. He can lay them out, give a 10 count, and just walk away. And now you boot this down to Bastion of Berlin, and you can have a triple threat between Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Drew McIntyre. And eventually you give Drew McIntyre a strong victory over CM Punk, but I don't think Drew McIntyre got what he needed from this victory over CM Punk.
No, agreed. And I feel like, again, I feel like that was a general consensus thing, because even seeing like the reviews as it was going on and stuff, as I was like scrolling along, everyone was kind of like, that kind of felt very anticlimactic for this, like these were the words these guys were having. Even the stuff with, let alone the original Ring of Honor founder being at SmackDown the other night, and those photos that came out and everything have been absolutely, like, CM Punk and him have been literally at each other's throats in a way that's crazy for kayfabe.
So my question to you, Ashley, we're about a little bit over 30 minutes away from Monday Night Raw. What do you want to see the future of Drew McIntyre and CM Punk be? I personally want them to split off into two different feuds. I want CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, and maybe you spin Drew McIntyre off to Gunther, maybe for that Bastion Berlin. What do you think?
I would like to see something like that. I feel like maybe, I don't know if it would be best to keep them together, or like you said, give them some space now, because I think you do have to delve right into Punk versus Rollins though ASAP.
I think you need to, because one, we don't know how long CM Punk is going to be able to stay healthy enough to wrestle a match. And I feel like all the bells and whistles in this match we saw 48 hours ago at SummerSlam was due to the fact that CM Punk is not totally healthy, and they worked a match that CM Punk could do. And it may be why we didn't get that hot grudge match that we thought we were going to get coming into this show.
That could explain it, and especially being his first match back. They want to take every precaution with him just coming back like that.
Okay, we're moving on to the next match on the card, and it's for the World Heavyweight Championship, Damian Priest versus Gunther. I gotta say, this was my favorite match on the card when it came to a title being there. It was exactly what I wanted. I wanted Damian Priest just to go forward, burn the ship, and chop down this big freaking Austrian in front of him. Because Gunther has been made out to be this indomitable force in nature that you have to be on top of your game to get a victory. And Damian Priest was doing everything in his power to try to chop this Austrian down.
No, I agree. And I like it because it's very reminiscent of his Intercontinental Championship reign where he was just unstoppable. And I love seeing him get this title. And I hope it's not just for the Berlin show. I want a long reign for Gunther, especially coming off that Intercontinental Championship run. I think he should have a decent run as well.
I think it's going to be a long run. I think we're going to be 6 to 9 months here with Gunther as your champion on Raw. He's going to be the center focus of everything that goes around on Monday nights. And I just love the fact that when Damian Priest chopped him open on the chest, Gunther just rubbed the blood over his face, and it just made him more insane. I was going like, exactly, this is what would happen if you fought this guy in real life and you made him bleed. Yeah, he's going to be ticked off, and we got to talk about it. Finn Balor came down to be the cheerleader for a bit, and I was thinking, are they really going to do another breakup of the Judgment Day? Because we already seen at the beginning of the show, Dominic Mysterio broke the heart of Mommy, but Damian Priest and Finn, they've been like brothers. They're thick as thieves. But then, can you really trust a thief?
It's imploding all over the place.
I mean, like, you see Damian hit the South of Heavens. He rolls him forward to the ring rope to do the cover. And out of nowhere, Finn jumps up, puts Gunther's leg on the rope. And we have the visual of Damian Priest spinning around, looking at the scoreboard's Titantron and seeing Finn Balor do it. And all the time they throw back to Finn, and he has this like devil look on his face, like the Joker. And I was going like, okay, this is going to be cool because Finn's going to be healed. We're going to see the return of the Prince Devitt character.
That would be nice. He's kind of had not the biggest role in the Judgment Day where he is now. So I would like to see him kind of be in a more singles capacity coming out of this.
Okay, so we basically had the Judgment Day implode on this pay-per-view. Ashlee, do you want to see the Judgment Day 3.0 tonight on Monday Night Raw with Liv Morgan, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and JD McDonough? Or do you want to see them come up with a new name, and this is a new group that has no connection besides the members to Judgment Day? They come out and they literally say, Judgment Day is dead. We killed it. We're on to something else.
I do hope they change the name and come up with something.
I think so. I feel like the leader should be either Liv Morgan or it should be Finn Balor. And if it's Finn Balor, let's just make it a WWE version of the Bullet Club. Come up with some. You know what? We tried it one time before and we didn't do it. We did it half-heartedly. Let's go full board here.
Why not?
Okay, so we are down to the last match. And I got to say, 72 hours ago, I was trying to convince the world that Solo Sikoa could be your future world champion here. And I was wrong because we had a Bloodlines match. And I got to say, any other time we see the Bloodline say, I want a Bloodline match, I'm going to go like, guys, you don't want that because you lost 2 in a row.
I didn't see Solo winning coming out of this match, but I felt like there was a glimmer, like we were kind of talking about when on Friday, the Bloodline also won the tag team titles from DIY. I feel like it would have made a little more sense, but I understand why Solo is not the champion right now.
I do too, but like you said, I was back on Friday night with Brad and Greg, and I was laying up my story. I'm going like, we should be at the crescendo of this new 2.0 Bloodline with Solo and the guys having the 3 titles. They think they control the universe. We're setting them up for that return of Roman Reigns and Thanos coming out and hitting the snap and everything disappears for this 2.0 Bloodline. I feel like we advanced the story just maybe a chapter and a half faster than I wanted, and it's just all personal taste.
Yeah, I understand. Like you said, I think that's the way I would have done it, especially with the way you had DIY lose. But I mean, you can't fault them for bringing back Roman on this show and getting that reaction, and now having that to work with for the rest of the summer.
Yes, it was a excellent return of the tribal chief, and now he has a new teaser. It's OTC, and I know we already made the over the counter joke. I've seen it all over social media. Like, is this the generic version of Roman? It's not the full strength Roman Reigns. I mean, honestly, I know it's the original tribal chief, or like I like to say, the only tribal chief. But it was kind of an interesting way to do the t-shirt, I gotta say.
I can see that.
Now, honestly, I love the story they're telling here with Roman coming back and costing Solo this title, because in doing so, Roman Reigns just gave the title victory to the guy that took the title away from him. The one other person that Roman dislikes almost as much as Solo Sikoa. And you can tell it on Roman's face as he's looking back at Cody, celebrating his title win. And Roman's like disgusted with himself, like, I had to do it to set the family right. I had to let Cody win.
It's more of a begrudging respect, I guess.
Exactly. It was like this moment where you see Roman and Reigns looking at the down Cody going like, I could end you right now, Cody, but that's not why I'm here. I respect you, Cody. You came up to me like a person. So I'm going to let you have your moment. Put a pin in this because I'm coming back for my title.
It's going to be an interesting dynamic when he does go back for the title.
It is. It's going to be a very interesting Friday Night SmackDown coming up this week. I can't wait to see that Friday night. Now, Ashlee, let's talk about this Monday Night Raw that we're about 24 minutes away from seeing tonight. Let's run down what we're going to see here in just a matter of moments. As tonight on the show, we're going to have the main event. The Wyatt Six make their in-ring debut versus Chad Gable and the Creed brothers. This has been building for a few weeks where the Wyatt Six has been tormenting poor Chad Gable. And I got to say, I fear for the Creed brothers and Chad not getting the victory tonight.
I feel like you're right there, but I feel like this is more than anything going to be a test of how well this Wyatt Six faction is going to pan out. We've seen the promos, we've seen the really cool, like shots of them like on the stage after attacking, things like that. But I feel like finally getting to see them in ring and what they can do with these characters and how they can meld the world of what Bray Wyatt had created and what they're doing in WWE now, and see where everything is going to lay after.
Exactly. We have been enjoying the vignettes for a lot of months now. Now it comes, rubber hits the road. Tonight, rubber hits the road. We need to see how this group works in the ring. And I gotta say, putting them with the Creed brothers and Chad Gable is one good way to make this work, I do believe.
Yeah, no, you can't go wrong with those opponents. Those Creed brothers are so good.
We're also going to see Dakota Kai versus Sonya Deville. And it's interesting, like 2 months ago, Damage Control was the main heel faction on Monday Night Raw for the females. Now we have Sonya Deville with Zoe Starks making this a heel group with Shayna Baszler. And they flipped the Damage Control to like babyface. And I feel like we're just getting started with these 6 women and how you're going to see them interact as we go into the fall on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, it feels more ongoing with this kind of reset they've done with a lot of other characters.
We've been talking a lot about resets, but we're getting the New Day versus AOP again. And please, dear God, let's make this the end of this feud.
Sean's feud of the year.
Oh yeah, this is going to probably be my worst feud of 2024. Mark this date. This is August the 5th, 2024. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be my worst feud of the year. I'm hoping the Offers of Pain get the victory here because we're trying to build up the Last Testament as this imposing force. If they need to be an imposing force, they need some victories.
I get that. Like, it's been going on for a long time, and it feels like, especially with somebody like the New Day, I'm not understanding why it's so stagnant.
Yeah, no, because you think Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, 2 really good guys in the ring. And I mean, I would rather see the Creed brothers in this heel role they are right now with Chad Gable. I'd love to see them wrestle the New Day. That'd be a fresh new feud for the New Day and the Creed brothers. And you know what the Creed brothers need? They need solid people across from the ring to help them better their performances because they're still very new to professional wrestling. I would rather see that and see this rehash of AOP versus the New Day.
Yeah, and it, like you said, it just feels Like it's drawn out, and it doesn't feel like this match is going to further it or end it in any sort of way, unless something is in the cards for this match to, I don't know, some sort of shakeup. Somebody joins in, we get some interference, something.
And honestly, do you want to see Xavier Woods turn on Kofi Kingston and join the Last Testament? I don't want to see that. I mean, I would love to see a heel Xavier Woods on his own, but he would be like the 5th or 6th member of the Last Testament. He would be like low man on the totem pole.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind, like you said, like seeing them kind of go off into their separate ways if they don't have anything for them, or at least just singles runs. But I don't know. Like I said, unless they have something planned for this, I don't know where my excitement is.
Well, I know we're going to get at least one banger on the show because Sheamus is wrestling Luger Kaiser. And I got to say, these two guys are going to beat the heck out of each other to get a response from the crowd. And I just enjoy Sheamus and his physicality in a ring.
Very, very much so.
Well, Ashlee, we're down to like the appearances here on Monday Night Raw. What do you think we're going to learn from the new world champion Gunther? Are we going to see who's going to challenge him for Bastion Berlin for that title tonight? Or do you think they'll hold it off for a week?
I think we might get something, at least kind of a hint of something, whether they maybe have like a backstage kind of thing, or whether somebody straight up just interrupts him and it's a little more forward. I do think we kind of at least get an idea of who the opponent is.
I got a feeling that we may see Finn Balor be the person that challenges Gunther next, and that's going to be hopefully what leads us down the road, because I don't think we bring Damian Priest back into this feud with Gunther yet, because he needs to take care of the business with Finn Balor turning on him. I feel like he needs to settle that feud first before we send a babyface Damian Priest into another match with Gunther.
Yeah, agreed. I would like to give him some space and maybe even a victory or two after that big loss.
And we're also going to see appearances by CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. We are already stated that we want to see these guys go 2 separate ways here. So fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen. Ashlee, do you have any final thoughts before we head off to watch Monday Night Raw?
Just that this should be interesting. Like I said, like we were talking about, like this big reset. SummerSlam seems to have been WWE turning like a new leaf. A lot of new champions, a lot of new faces being pushed to the top. So should be an interesting night.
You know, I gotta say, I feel refreshed after watching SummerSlam. It may be the fact that I didn't watch the pre-show, but the 4 hours in front of me that Saturday night watching the wrestling in the ring was very entertaining. And I can't wait to see what happens tonight on Monday Night Raw. Now, we will be back Friday night to record Radio Free Professional Wrestling as we look back on a week in professional wrestling. We're just trying a new format here where on Monday nights, we give you a preview of what's coming on Monday Night Raw and what we may like down the road in a week of wrestling. But Radio Free Professional Wrestling will be to you on Friday night if you want to watch us record it. And it'll be in your ears every Saturday morning when you wake up. So, Ashlee, tell the people where we can find you on the super information super highway.
I'm usually on Twitter. It's at groovy_ash_. And attached there on my pinned are my socials for everywhere else. Instagram, Blue Sky, everything.
And of course, you can follow the show on Twitter at RadioFreePW. You can also go over to www.radiofreepw.com to catch up on the last episodes. Hey, come over to Facebook. Type in Radio Free Pro Wrestling. Join our community on Facebook at Radio Free Pro Wrestling. Ashlee, everybody, enjoy Monday Night Raw. We'll see you back here Friday night to catch you up on a week that was professional wrestling. Everybody, stay stunning.